All right, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for the March Madness edition of Sports With. My name is Brendan Shabat, joined alongside me, Stephen Hahn. Stephen, it's a beautiful day. The tournament starts today. How excited are you?
I mean, this is my favorite week every year. Just the buzz everywhere you go. Everyone's whispering about their brackets. I'm super nervous. I'm terrified of March Madness. It's the most important thing in my life. And, I'm just ready to bring that to you guys today.
Well, the thing I found with March Madness, confidence is key. Every year I think I have a perfect bracket, and this year I think is no different. So let's get into the thick of things. 16 games today, 16 tomorrow. Let's go over a few highlights that are going to be on today. The first game that I look at in the East region, Steven, that I really like as my first 11-6 upset of the tournament, Belmont over Maryland. My big game coming in the West region. Marquette versus Murray State.
Also,
Marcus Howard and Ja Morant.
Probably the best guard matchup you'll see all tournament.
For sure.
And, we lean different ways. You got Marquette, I have Murray State, and I actually have Murray State in my Elite Eight. I think
I got Marquette in the Elite Eight. Golden Eagles.
I think they're the team that's gonna surprise people, make that mini Cinderella run. But that game could go either way. It's really gonna be which guard ends up taking over.
Yeah. Moving on to the South region. I look at St. Mary's over Villanova here. Steve, what are your thoughts in the South?
I'm taking two upsets out of here. We got Oregon over Wisconsin. Oregon's pretty hot coming into the tournament, and Wisconsin's really beat out probably the most injured team in the country. And then I've also got UC Irvine with the upset over Kansas State. I like the
13-4 and 12-5 in the same bracket.
I like them, both those teams coming out of the first round, and UC Irvine will take that matchup in the round of 32.
So in the Midwest region, I don't have a lot of upsets. The one I have is Georgia State over Houston. That's a 14-3, but that's just kind of going out on a limb. There's one of those every year. Georgia State just reminds me of R.J. Hunter and what they did to Baylor a couple years ago. It was just beautiful. I would love to see that again. But the one thing that I'm going to give you guys a little secret to March Madness. Any game you think is going to be close, an 8-9, a 10-7, a 1-2, look at free throw percentage, okay? Seton Hall and Wofford. Wofford shoots 69.9% from free throws. Seton Hall shoots 70.8. Seton Hall 10 over Wofford 7. Take it to the bank.
Not just free throw percentage, but guard free throw percentage, because in those late minutes in the fourth quarter, the guard is going to be the one with the ball the whole time, and they're going to be the one getting fouled. Look at teams with really nice free throw shooting guards.
Okay, so staying in the Midwest, Steven, in the second round we're going to move to now. The team that I like to look at is Auburn. Auburn has been playing some great basketball lately. They blew out Tennessee in the SEC tournament.
Hammer on Tennessee.
I got them over Kansas. I got them.
I can't really argue with that. Most of my brackets, I would agree with you. I think Auburn is one of those teams that can challenge for a spot in the Final Four. I think the Midwest is arguably the weakest bracket. That the easiest way for them to get in is through that route.
I think we can both agree that the South region is fairly chalk in the second round.
Yeah,
fair to say. So we're going to move on to the East region now. In the second round, I think we see the Spartans take on their Big Ten rival, Minnesota. I think that's a pretty easy win for Cassius Winston and them there. I think they move on to the Sweet 16.
Cassius Winston, arguably one of the top 5 players in the tournament.
In the West.
Friend of the show also.
Big friend of the show. Big friend of the show. The game that I'm looking at here in the West region, Mr. Derry next door is going to love me for this. Syracuse over Gonzaga, second round. Book it in the Sweet 16. Shout out Diesel. So then we're going to go back to the East region here. I think we see Duke and Michigan State match up in the Elite Eight. So over to the South region, we're going to go. Steve, I got very chalk in this region. I don't see a lot of upsets. I got Virginia and Tennessee in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, not much to complain about. I could see Purdue getting that spot over Tennessee, but if my gut says Tennessee as well.
Yeah, so down to the West. I had Marquette beating Murray State and Florida State. I think Syracuse and Marquette take on each other. I'm sorry, Mr. Derry, but I got to go with Marcus Howard. I think Marquette takes on Michigan in the Elite Eight. I think we all know where fellow Sports With colleague John Eads is going to stand on that one. Back over to the Midwest. My big upset in the Sweet 16. This is huge. I got Auburn versus Kentucky in the Elite Eight. So my Final Four, Steve, ranks out right now at Duke, Michigan, Virginia, and Kentucky. What's your Final Four looking like?
Virginia's got a lot to prove. Statistically, they're probably the best team in the nation right now, but that didn't matter for them last year, losing to UMBC in the first round. But I would have to agree with you on your Final Four in most cases. Duke and Michigan, I like coming out of the left side of the bracket, right side. I could see some other teams squeaking into the Final Four like Auburn, but no complaints here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, moving on to the national championship, I got an ACC matchup of Duke and Virginia, and I think if Duke can stay healthy, I mean, obviously at this point right now, at this very moment, they are healthy, and so you have to pick them. But if they can stay healthy throughout the tournament, I don't see anybody that can beat them. That's how it's been all year. But
Yeah.
their Achilles heel is one person goes down, and it seems like they can't win.
We'll keep it real with you. Duke is a lottery NBA team.
Yeah.
There's not many college basketball teams that will be better than them, and I think they'll prove that, and I think they'll not run away with it, but I think they'll have a relatively easy walk through the tournament.
All right, boys. This has been the Sports With Tournament Challenge bracket. Steven.
Cubs fans, join us for your chance to get on Sports With. We're going to put a link right here where you can join. The password to get in is Sports With, all lowercase, one word. Thanks, boys.
This is March.